Welcome to Happily Divorced with Karishma. I'm recording this today feeling particularly light, grateful, happy, but I want to be honest with you, this week did not start that way. In fact, it was quite the opposite. I started out this week in total panic mode, resentment mode, dread mode, and the wildest part is that nothing was actually wrong. In fact, everything that I've ever wanted is sitting right in front of me today. So today I want to talk about fear and how it can quietly rob us of the exact life that we have worked so hard to build. Let's begin. Hello, friends. Welcome to another episode of Happily Divorced with Karishma. And I wanted to talk today about fear and how fear can really derail us from enjoying, embodying, living the life that we truly deserve. It's been a really, really busy month, to say the least. I've had a lot of work travel that's picked up the last few weeks. I have just personal commitments, kids commitments, life commitments, and more importantly, my partner and I have been working on intentionally aligning and creating immersion opportunities for our family. We're trying to orchestrate 2 families, 4 kids, 300 miles apart, divorced lifestyle. And this weekend is going to be the 3rd immersion event in less than 2 months. And we have not had any in the last 6 months. So just to give you a context of how things have been progressing beautifully and just the amount of busyness, frankly, that's also created both sides. Last weekend, I was finding myself really frustrated, overwhelmed, and I'm a coach that has taught people how to manage overwhelm stress. And actually, my massive burnout and stress was the reason that I had quit my job in 2019. That plus logistical reasons, I actually came into my own business, find myself just overwhelmed, stressed out, burnt out within 6 months of having it. So to say the least, like overwhelm, stress, anxiety has been something that I have had to manage actively my entire life. This isn't a recent phenomenon with work. This is back in college, literally just passing out on the campus, going to classes during an exam. I look back and there's been a lot of just different things over time of different flavors of the same thing. And so to say the least, it's a familiar pattern. All of us, we operate in one of 2 ways. One is what's called, like, I'm going to give you a little coaching lesson here, having toward values. I might ask you, what do you want? You might say either, I want joy, peace, happiness. So you're moving towards something that you want. Or a lot of people, I want less stress, less overwhelm, less fill in the blank. And those are called away values. So either we kind of frame our mind up to have more of something or to have less of something. And when I'm in those periods of overwhelm, which, compounded overwhelm leads to, in that case, where I'm normally like a toward person, when I go into like shutdown mode, I actually go into the away mode where it's like, oh my God, I need less stress, less things, less. And it all stacks. It becomes like kaboom. It's a big thing. And I really want to kind of like talk about this cycle because there are things that we all have, like those away things. We all have away things that we want to minimize. And again, it's things from our past, things from experience that haven't felt good. And it's like, oh, it's too much to bear. Therefore, I need less stuff. Again, it's been 4 weeks of back-to-back travel. And I found myself really, really tired, wanting to press that reset button. And literally after like coming back from travel on Tuesday night, it literally took me into the weekend of recalibrating myself to get myself back to normal. But then not even having enough recalibration time to find myself back into that, oh my God, it's going to be a busy week with the kids. How am I going to do this? And then on top of that, this weekend is my birthday weekend. So we planned immersion activities. My boyfriend's coming over here with his kids. So everything that I want is right here. But 3 to 4 days ago, I didn't have the ability and capacity to be able to deal with it. So I want to kind of talk about what I did and what happened, and some not so great, not so fun things happen. And when, shit just hits the fan, it's really there to help us teach a lesson on what's happening. So first of all, from a stress management standpoint, I had to look at my calendar and just really having a picture of what the week looked like and being prepared that, oh my God, this week is going to be busy. One thing my boyfriend reminded me of is, Karishma, try to carve out 1 hour a day when there's nothing. And, some days it's more like 30 minutes. Some days have been an hour. First of all, overwhelm is I have way too much to do and I'm drowning. There's one piece is there's too much stuff to do. The second piece is there's too much stuff to do and I don't have enough support to do it. Both pieces, right? So looking at the week ahead, I had this feeling of dread as I was looking ahead into the week, especially into birthday weekend mode. My boyfriend reminded me of something that I probably would say the exact same thing to a friend or to a client. When things seemingly compound, we actually have to do the opposite. So when things really stack and stack and stack, a lot of us get in a tendency of like, oh my, I got to do more and I got to crank out more. I actually shut down. So when there's too much to do or it feels like it's too much to do, because it's all perception, I find myself shutting down. But then because there's this like internal, emotional, mental exhaustion, it feels heavy and it's not fun. And I actually end up doing a lot less, but the feeling is it's too much. And so that the resistance of moving into it stacks, and then that kind of drains and zaps my mental, emotional energy. And it just makes me feel like, I can't do this. I got reminded of a lot of Al-Anon principles in my life this week of where when things feel really hard, I have to slow down to focus on one day at a time. What is it that I can accomplish in this next 24 hours? And for me, fixating on a week from now, 5 days from now, a month from now, when I'm in that mode, it just shuts me down and I feel even more resistant. So I really had to like slow down, wake up each day, one day at a time, and carve out 30 minutes to an hour. Hour was the goal each day of just where I'm not on my phone. I'm not working out. I'm not doing an activity. I'm actually just being. And that meant for me personally, I woke up a little earlier. My daughter had band practice. I dropped her to band. My butt was at the park. I was at the park for over 45 minutes. And I was able to just like get like myself right, just be in nature and just be for an hour. And it like was amazing. Yesterday, I gave myself permission, again, same early morning with my daughter, but I didn't have anything in me. So I just slowed down. I got a cup of coffee and I took a few minutes before leaving, took a long shower and just treated myself just slowing down and kind of taking a few hours in the afternoon of just downtime mode, relaxation mode. And yesterday was a lot of pick up, drop off, but really giving myself grace to slow down. And then when my son had a birthday party, I was able to go and like book a massage and like really just take time out to physically relax in my body because my stress level was like up high. My shoulders were up to here and it all just stacked. So stress management technique, I would say, is slowing down, focusing on what's in front of me, and then really prioritizing self-love, self-care, and that alone recalibration time is gold and priceless. That was the stress management piece. The other part was the emotional piece. And again, we've had a lot of immersion activities. And in the spirit of vulnerability, the idea of immersion has been a little frightening. Having 4 kids between the two of us going through their own divorce processes, it hasn't always been easy. It hasn't always been peaceful. It hasn't always been like, kids are ready to go and let's have fun and play with our new family. It has not been that, and has been a source of anxiety for me, has been a source of powerlessness for me. And through my history of living with active alcoholism, I tend to go into over-responsible mode. I tend to go into over-control mode. And I find safety through control. And I found myself more controlling, asking for details, demanding details, not being so nice and kind, and asking for these details and this ping pong. I really kind of had to sit down the other day and be like, okay, like Karishma, what's really happening today? And again, all of it for me was my ego playing out fear, my ego feeling like I had to protect myself, defend myself, go back into that familiar place of creating safety. And I have to remind myself, Karishma, this is 2026 and you don't have to protect yourself against these same things. What you want is partnership. What you want is connection. What you want is collaboration. The old fear of being unsupported in this journey, the old fear of having to do everything by yourself, when we all have things come up and our ego freaks out and we're in panic mode, it's really our ego coming up and sharing hurt and sharing a need to defend and sharing a part of ourselves that is unresolved and wounded and hasn't had resolution within. It wasn't pretty. Instead of being excited about this immersion weekend, the birthday weekend, which is everything that I've ever wanted, I found myself panic, dread mode, overwhelm mode, and everything else that was taking me away from the joy, the gratitude, the love, the passion that I really want. And I want to talk about this for a minute, like what do we do to move from distortion, upset, resentment mode to coming back into living with heart, coming back to recalibrating with joy. I had to be honest and have a come to Jesus moment with myself and be like, Krishma, you need to calm the F down and honestly look at what is happening today. In 2026, what is happening today? And then that part of me that felt hurt, that felt scared, that felt she had to protect herself, that felt like she was fighting for her limitations. Like, oh my God, Karishma, I see you. I see that wounded part of me. I see that part of me that loves me so much because she loves me so deeply. She has to make it so freaking obvious in order to make me pause to be like, what's really happening? And there was a part of me that I got reconnected to, that part of me that's been hurt. I'm a divorcee. And I think every one of us in relationships, there are past wounds, there are past traumas, there are things that happen in our journey in real time. We get triggered from someone, usually our romantic partners, and it takes us back to something in the past that isn't even real. And I had to just come back and be like, oh my God, Karishma, everything you want is right here. And we're not living the same journey as the past. And I get to just love that part of me that wants to be seen, wants to be held, wants to be supported, and wants to know that she's okay. And then the last piece I wanted to share about that is my friend, I was connecting with her yesterday, sharing about all of this stuff that's been happening all week. And she reminded me of the story of the two wolves. And is the story that I've shared with my clients. Essentially, we wake up every single day and there's two wolves. One wolf is the voice of panic, of fear, of anxiety, of anger, woe is. And then the other piece is there's a wolf inside of us that is calm, that is loving, that is joyful, that is peaceful, that desires happiness and freedom. And we get to decide which voice we're going to feed every single day. Are we going to feed the voice of panic, resentment, anger? Or are we going to feed that voice within us of love, of joy, of gratitude? And I got to press that reset button yesterday and be like, what I really want is love. What I really want is joy. And oh my God, Karishma, everything you want is right here. And it was such a powerful reset. And I woke up this morning, where's the confetti? Let's go. Let's have an amazing weekend. And I get to celebrate with all the people in my life that I love. So for those of you that are finding yourself in some flavor of panic, overwhelm, resentment, any flavor of anything I talked about, I hope these tools help you. And today we get to make a decision to be empowered, to break the cycle. And there's tips and tools and tricks at our fingertips. Are we brave enough and courageous enough to choose to live the life that we truly want? Have a beautiful day. Thanks for listening.